We've got we have we accepted, or we canceled a trade, canceled an escrow, I should say, by the parent wallet, by the initiator, by the seller's wallet, and because that actually performs a full close of an account, of the escrow token account inside, that means that we are it completely removes it, at least when we do perform a fetch. So if I were to Command R and refresh, it tries to perform the fetch to get the escrow, but there is nothing there because this no longer is available. So if I, however, let me see. If I take all the way to the end, and then let's go back over here, and let's try to do a this is the logs. Let's see if we do clear, and then if I do Solana address, balance, no, account, yeah, let's see, a Solana account. If I do, what happens here? Error, account not found, public key. So this was the PDA of this particular escrow, and we're not finding it. And genuinely, like, it's if we look at the program, there is the cancel validation and all the constraints, but if we scroll up and check out the actual instruction, so here is the instruction to cancel. We pass it the anchor context. Yeah, the flow is we transfer out, or escrowed out token account back to the seller. So this is performing, we're taking the tokens that were temporarily stored in the escrow out token account. We transfer that back to the originator, the initiator. And then here, I have a question. Oops. Don't want to mess that up. Yeah, actually, that was by accident. So I had a question earlier on when I was doing this. It's like, which account are we actually closing when we perform this SPL token account? Well, because it's from the SPL token program, we are doing just that. We're actually closing the token account that we stored inside. So, and in order to fully close it, we use this the token program's close account instruction right here. So yeah, so that's happening and that's working, and that's why when we canceled it earlier, or when we canceled it just then, the escrow store gets wiped out. Obviously that's just a store. It's a Svelte store for front-end state, so I don't have to wipe it out, but currently that's what is happening. And if we were to try to go back to this route, if I go back and, you know, paste the exact same, like, there's nothing there. This, you know, and that's something that we could work on. Like, after an account is closed, we don't stay here. I actually perform a reroute back to the main index page. So that's something could add. And yeah, so, you know, not bad. We're getting there. I'm glad that we can now updating and setting the user store values for cancel. That is done. There's really not much to do with the cancel. We just need the out token from the seller. We need their token account public key. I do like how I have added, at least in the, I'll go here for the cancel. I like adding these checks. You know, if there's not a wallet, obviously, let's get rid of it, or, you know, return. If the connected wallet is trying to trigger this cancel trade, if the connected wallet is not the matching authority, so is escrow authority, where I'm checking that the wallet store, you know, matches or it doesn't match, well then we return at that point, because that's shouldn't work. And then also checking whether the escrow store itself, if the data is empty on the store. Yeah, so we have some of these checks, and then in here, once those get by, if those pass, then we have some room here to start. Primarily, at least for the cancel instruction, we need to get the out token, set the out token mint, and then find the existing token that's in the wallet, that's already in the wallet. And once we find it, then we snag its pub key and set our user store to that. Yeah. So that is that about does it for all that. Now, what else do we need to do? I guess because we're maintaining the escrow store, I could consider, if this transaction is successful, right here I'm resetting the escrow store. Could totally work, but also considering, do I need to you know, should I bother updating the escrows store array? Meaning, like, should I do like escrows store dot, and I think I've got a delete. Yeah, delete escrow. And here, all this helper does is literally a pass in the public key of the escrow that we're working with, and it would remove it from the store. So can't reset. If I do this, what I could do is first delete from the escrow store. So if I go to escrow store and we look at it, what it's doing, it's svelte store, so it's we pass it the PDA, and then it goes through and it goes through and uses the store, the svelte update method, which will update the value using the callback and inform subscribers. So this is all kind of svelte store stuff, but basically filtering out the matching store with the PDA, and that's that. So curious to see if that works. I'll go back here, and before we actually delete it, all right within the same handler, I should be able to pass in the escrow store.pda, and that would that should work. And I'm going to cast it to a public key. So TypeScript, no complaints there. And then finally, we could reset this. So what this will do is it's going to delete the escrow from our escrows store array. And then it will reset the escrow store, make a notification. And then one thing I am thinking about doing is redirect or reroute back to the main page. So this could be a go-to. Returns a promise that resolves when SvelteKit navigates. You know, I've used this before. And, well, the URL, where would the URL? Well, the URL, really, pass in a URL, and that is that. Let me see. I wonder if that's the right. Well, I could try it. So go to, and then what if I just do, Trying to think. What's the best way? So SvelteKit. Yeah, let's look at this go-to. Hang on. Routing. SRC routes, about, page. This is updated routing, but the methods, a lot of the methods should be still available. So these are different layouts and stuff, but I'm trying to find the receiving data types, other files. What if I hang on, let's go straight to the go to, or before navigation. Let's look at what we got. So from navigation, we have after navigate, before navigate, disable scrolling, go to, invalidate. I feel like turns a promise that resolves when SvelteKit navigates or fails to navigate, in which case the promise rejects. Okay, I mean, right? So, yeah. And what's the page data page? Yeah, trying to see like what I have available to work with, because params path name. I mean, I just hard code it, I guess, for now. Right, like go to, and literally I just go to Escrow. Does that work? Could be. So let's see. We delete. Deleting the escrow from the array, then resetting the escrow store, doing a notification, and rerouting. I wonder, that should work. This is how I envision this. Now, I haven't reset the validator, so user store. When I do this, it's updating some values. Yeah, and we've done, although I've canceled that. Let me see if I can do an exchange. I don't even have the token addresses. Hang on. 8 and 5. Yeah. We have 5. I have this one. But I need this mint. This is the token that I'm exchanging for. And I can imagine this would be like also available to like exchange like NFTs as well. I mean, it's still a token. Now, the decimals for NFTs is 0. So that's kind of how you set, like it's one of a kind. And then you mint that supply. That you mint that 1, so now you have your unique token, from my understanding. So if I do point, I don't know, like let's just do 1.2. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll be able to initialize. Yeah. Wrong input type for custom program. I feel there's a little jankiness. Not gonna lie, a little bit of odd behavior. Although I can accept and I can even cancel now, there's sometimes like this when state kind of gets lost, but the validator is still running, like it's having problems passing in the correct something with the initialize. So if I go to initialize and we call it custom program for the instruction handle initialize. Hang on. Wrong input type. Let's see. Let's go to handle initialize. Yeah. And here it's complaining. It's complaining about what we're passing for the custom program. Wrong input type. And my hunch, yeah, okay, here's what happened. Look, so the custom program store, it's been wiped out. So the store itself is wiped out, which again, I don't know if that is custom program dot reset or store dot reset. I should not have a reset on this because I need to keep this. Yeah, but like in this case, like it should. If this custom program is null, then we really need to we've got to do something. So I need to check. I'm gonna just add a note to do, or or fix me. Custom program store getting wiped or reset after cancel. I'm not sure. I'm gonna cut this out and instead move it up top as a to do. It's not the end of the world, but there's something happening here. Clearly, I can see that. Oh, you know what? I learned a new trick. I'm gonna go back here. So I want this line right here, 87. I want it to move up here. So I heard in Vim, if I go up one line, and then if I hit Shift K, oh darn, wait, Shift K, no? Darn, what did I was playing around with this. Maybe because it's a comment? No? There's like, how do you, no, darn, never mind. There's a way to grab this and move it up, but I think it's Shift K. Or is it? No. All right, that's a Vim thing. Clearly, lots to learn with that, but I saw a neat trick on that. Need to go back to my notes. So anyway, here, yeah, I need to check out. I'm gonna put just a fix me. I need to double check that it's good to go. Like, I don't want it to completely wipe out the custom program store after you do that. Or what I could consider doing is perform a quick check if on custom program store inside the cancel and accept. If it's not there, then try to fetch the latest. Yeah, that is, it probably makes sense to have some sort of, before I do an initialize or a cancel or an accept, perform a check on the custom program store, making sure that we have one and that it's, updated, and then continue with the rest of the instruction. So like, if we go back over here, so after you accept or cancel, it doesn't really matter if custom program gets wiped out for some reason. I mean, ideally, I don't always have to do multiple checks and stuff, but just in case, again, before we actually do a proper instruction, it checks whether it's there, and if not, then we go and fetch the latest. I think that'd be pretty safe. Something we need to do. So, yeah, it's a lot to do, but moving along. We got to add some validation. Not validation, but we need to do some checks on these instructions. Yeah, for the custom program. So let's go over here. Pretty standard stuff. I'm gonna get us going. Typical setup. Create some fresh tokens. discovered earlier that after we do some of these accepts or cancels or initialize and then you drop or whatnot, sometimes the custom program state gets lost, becomes stale, or gets wiped, and causes some problems when we want to continue to initialize or continue to interact with the app. So I think the best way of probably doing this is just like we've started to do with the initialize and cancel, is to start adding some checks inside of our handlers. So yeah, so let me disconnect like I normally do. This should pull up a fresh fetch of the wallet, like a wallet. Let's imagine the program is live on chain. Someone comes to here, they want to connect their wallet. What it will do is do a quick fetch of their token accounts by owner and add to a store, just keeping track, along with all the token info. So in this case, we've minted supply. Don't have any of this token, but I have that token. So copy that, and we'll use this as the mint, the token that we want. In exchange, just do small amounts, 0.3 for 0.6. Yeah, and all kinds of stores are getting logged out and stuff, but only here do we do, we do the check. So I've initialized the escrow, and here we are. Ugly UI, I get it, but it's working. So if I come in here, what we did last time is it checks the wallet as well as the escrow authority, and confirms whether or not this is the initiator or a potential buyer. Need to clean up the UI in terms of like what options are available to them, but essentially what happens now is I click cancel and I cancel it. This is completely wiped, and the transaction was successful. It wipes the okay. This is cool. So it did work to let's look. I wasn't sure, but I did add the go-to route. So we do the escrow store delete. We reset the single escrow store and do the notification pop-up we saw, and then reroute. I think that works for the most part. The problem is like this is stale. We just deleted it from here, and if I look at escrow's store, it looks to be yeah, see, so if I'm looking at my logs, originally it was as escrow authority. We pushed a transaction. This is the ID, and we canceled. This is happening in here. We're canceling. We are resetting the escrow store. No escrow store values found. Trying to set current escrow found in escrow store set. Hang on. Why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? I mean, I have an idea why, because we're telling it to, let me split. So up top, we have this kind of reactive, happening where, you know, if these values change, then it will reactively trigger what we put in this block. Interesting. Because what I really need to happen is when this delete occurs, I believe cancel escrow. Yeah, we log the transaction hash here. We cancel it. I guess I could log my escrows store at this point, but that should work. So like, even assuming, like, we can assume that this is deleting and we're clearing this. Let's see. After we do that, it will reactively update, like it will, these values are changing, which will trigger a reactive update. How do we, what's the right approach to, in a typical cancel, we cancel, or even like accepting the trade, like accepting an escrow exchange will do, like it won't delete. We don't have to delete the escrow from our array, but I mean, ultimately, like when they accept, I'm assuming, you know, maybe a little bit of a notifications or whatnot, but it's done. I guess if you accept, you could stay on the page, or maybe just again reroute to the main page. But and it did. The problem is because we go through here, this all works. It reroutes back, but because these values changed, it also seemed to have triggered this whole, you know, no escrow store values found, trying to set. I would have thought that the escrow, in this case, I only had one escrow, but you can imagine you have like plenty. But I would have thought that, so I can't check on the links, but basically escrow store find, current escrow found in escrow store. Interesting. So I feel like when I do this triggered updating, doing this, as you know, kind of triggered an update to go through here. Or not, like something is a little, something's a little off here. I'm trying to figure out like how this is working. So they're looking to see if they can find a value PDA is equal to the page. Okay, so we're using the page route, which this would be found, but this escrow's store, the array, we should not have this available anymore, right? Like, yeah, we're still in the page route, you know, like in here. If I click in here, I go back. That's strange. Yeah, I feel like clearly the chain had a transaction to cancel it. So like, I'm pretty darn sure if I were to, can I get this address? If I try to like look for this if I try to do something like Solana account, and this is a PDA, so I feel like the account itself is gone. However, my state is stale. It's not correct. Because I bet if I tried to do cancel, transaction failed. And it failed because we just have an error. But I bet if I come down here, look, cancel account not initialized. Like, yeah, there's no account here. This is, we've deleted it, we've closed it, but yet my stores are janky. They're not working the way that I was expecting. So where were we? How to sort through this? Because I'd like for the user to click cancel. It processes the transaction correctly, closes the account. The PDA is no longer available. So then I need to do, I mean, if I were to, rather than rely on the store, rather than rely on doing all of this, I could instead manually delete like this, or reset and things like that. It doesn't seem to be working correctly. I mean, one idea is use my go-to. This returns a promise that resolves if they successfully navigate back to the URL. So if it makes it back to like that, no problem navigating there, well then there's this then you can have it do stuff, you know, like update the state. And what I could do in that case is navigate. Would it still trigger? Yeah, okay. So again, the problem, I'm just talking through this. The problem, you know, if I make any updates here, when these values change, and I'm messing with my stores, because I have a reactive, statement happening here. I have some reactive statements here. I'm afraid that those would still try to trigger. Although when I deleted this, in this case, escrow store length should have been 0, so that should have failed. I'm curious, is this even working? Let's go to escrow store delete, console log, cancel escrows store length. I'm just curious because this should have maybe I don't need to do the length. Let me just print out the whole thing. Because I can just see it in my logs. All right, so let's go back here. I should have. I've canceled, so I get my money back. This is old. I don't, this is UI state or store state that I'm screwing up. But let's try 0.7, and we're gonna go for this token. I mean, it's cool. We're now able to create multiple, initialize multiple. Let's go for 1. Oops, 1. Initialize. That should work. I don't think my custom program has been wiped out or anything. Yeah, okay, so that worked. Escrow number 2. Okay. Click here. I have, this is working. I have the escrow store, the user store right now. This is stale. Oh wait, no. I am the initiator, so this is correct, but I still feel like this isn't updating because I don't think I've messed with that. It doesn't really matter because what I've added to either the accept or the cancels, I've started adding these checks on, re-updating or updating the user store inside the handler. It's the authority. So yeah. Let's see. If I go cancel, it canceled. It was successful. Yeah, but look at all this stuff that goes through. Seller out token account found. We found all that stuff. We pass in the details. The transaction goes through. Here is the escrow store. Escrows store. Look at that. This is not deleting. Okay. And this is not deleting. Where were we? This part right here. Not working. Now, this is an async. And I don't think am I in a, I guess I could. I don't know if await would work inside a store. It's one thing I admit, I've seen async functions. And I'm getting, it has no effect on this expression. Yeah, I've seen this. I'm not quite sure, even though I've defined it here. as an async function. I've seen, like, this is just examples I've seen on like Svelte stores. So, but yeah, I need to figure out what's happening. So escrow store, user store, the transaction goes through. I reset that. When I trigger this, oh, it's not update store. Wait. Okay, it is delete escrow. Okay, I want to make sure. I don't have any logs happening here, so I'm not sure like how far this is actually getting. Basically, I'm finding the escrow, the match on the PDA. And that's it. Don't even know. I gotta test this out a bit more. But yeah, clearly losing some state. I'm gonna try one more just to see. I've canceled. Let's do 0.5 of that token, and we'll do this token, and we'll do 0.8 initialize. I wonder if this will work. Yeah, works. Takes me over here. I've got it. Now let's try to cancel one more time. And cancel, delete escrow. Self is this array, yeah. But it still keeps it. And I wonder if it's because it's an async and it's not getting done. All right. We're gonna have to troubleshoot this one. I gotta make sure that this updates correctly before I do handle the custom program. Gonna fix this my state, the store state after transacting, after canceling. Seen it mess up with canceling, but it may be the case with all the instructions that it's not accurately updating our state. So yeah, where to begin? So currently, fix me escrow's store state. After cancel. So yeah, this thing has been canceled, but this is stale. because it's displaying the store, but I can't find the account when I go here, because if it's store, it's all saved, but this account has been closed on chain. And the issue seems to be here, you know, like where we are canceling the trade. We yeah, cancel the trade, and this part right here is not working correctly. I don't think it's canceling. The method is able to, like, it's picking up before it goes through and filters. But yeah, it's not, doesn't seem to be returning and actually removing the canceled escrow. So that is a problem, because, well, yeah, I mean, one idea is to use this reroute to take the user back to the main page. But I could use this, and maybe once it hits this route, then go ahead and update. Maybe try to perform the I'm going to try it. So should I because this is don't know. Let's back up. I have an example, I think it's from index, where navigate, no, where did I put it? Oh, it's actually in the escrow component. Yeah, so it's an async function. Navigate and set something like this. Okay, so you await go to, and then inside you do this. Okay. Let me come back to my PDA, and what I'll do is I will create an additional helper that uses this. So navigate and set a little bit more general purpose. In this case, we're not going, we're just going to escrow. Nothing crazy there. But what we could do is not sure if I should do should work. Maybe I should be a little bit more explicit. So set no. I mean, it is doing a little bit both. So yeah, I feel like close this out and split this. Go down, go to, and then here instead of using the go to, we use this I'm sorry, we use this we use the helper navigate and set soar. Yeah, but did I use it like this in my component? So if I go back over here, no, it was a click handler. It was a click handler. Well, I feel like that would work. So what I could do is I'm gonna comment this out for a second. Yeah, okay. I'm not sure, but if I comment this out, we go back over here, I'm not sure. Don't know. Like, I'm going to reroute to the main page /escrow, and then once that works out, then we go ahead and perform this stuff, like deleting that escrow and then resetting it. I don't know. The question is, like, does it actually route us there? And then, yeah, if it works like this, then perhaps it won't trigger this update. It won't trigger this because these won't, we won't be on the PDA route anymore. It will have moved over to the main index route and finish after it resolves the navigation. I'm not sure. So let's see. We got a couple of tokens like usual. This is the token from this wallet's perspective of like what it would exchange for. We can do, because I'm canceling everything, I initiate and then cancel, initiate and cancel, or initialize and cancel. It's only, I'm getting all my tokens back, so that's cool. But if I do this, run through and accept, okay, still able to create. This is escrow number 4. It's just a random counter, and that's all it does. Then I click into it, escrow store, the first check, PDA is escrow, yeah, like has some details from what I'm trying to do. It's interesting that it's showing running this, to be honest. I almost need to add some sort of one other kind of criteria, because in this scenario, if I go back, when I click on this is supposed to be my escrow component, and we pass it, like if we go down, this is the escrow component. So it's looping through the store, the escrows array, and it's passing down the props. So it's passing the actual escrow account and its PDA as a string. We use the whole process of like accessing the props that were passed down using this whole export let, because escrow, I don't know if there's a problem. You can pass the store as a prop, get as a string. I then reset the types. I'm not sure if this is the best way, but I just did something like this, setting escrow as an IDL object, essentially, that a custom object that is mapped directly with the IDL, Anchor's IDL. And then I have this helper. So my point is, it should, and it does, have access to this is the escrow component. So it has access to the escrow account, right? So why over here am I seeing, I don't know, this just worries me a little bit. Like, why is this triggering on the PDA route if I already have the escrow. Because this has escrow store, single escrow store is null, or it's not equal to null, and the PDA, so it's not empty, so it has values. That's interesting. But after it does after it, I mean, regardless, okay, it's getting it. I need to better understand why. So it's got the escrow. But then it's the authority and all that maps out. So let's see if this new navigate and set store works, because I need this to work. So okay, it took me to there. It looked like I've got a bunch, but it's saying transaction successful. And yeah, so it goes through and it checks. Refetch, deleting escrow. So it did trigger the delete escrow call. So that transaction goes through, and I feel like it takes me back over to the index, which looks like this. Yeah, and we have some stuff happening. So like when there's a wallet and workspace thing is worked out, then they grab these setup stores essentially. This is kind of older stuff that I need to eventually clean up, but obviously I'm still trying to sort through all this. The setup store. Yeah. Alright, so it tries to go through the whole delete. But it doesn't really delete, because I know this is before and we have the object, but as we go on, escrow store has been wiped, but escrows store, the array, still has it. And we know that because it's still like this should only render the active arrays, or not just active arrays, but valid initialized array escrows that are inside that array store. I mean, that's it. And this is still rendering one, still displaying one, because it still shows that we have one. But I want to actually delete. I should not have any initialized escrow right now. So where Where is this happening? I mean, one thing that is happening, I notice, is that it's doesn't seem to be doing this trigger anymore. So that could be a good thing. Like, this isn't happening anymore because we're not seeing like no escrow values found, trying to fetch from the current, you know, like it's not doing this. So that's good. At least I'm not seeing it in my logs. So I don't think that's happening. But what is definitely also not happening is this, we're not deleting it. We're just not deleting it. So, let's see. I'm gonna have to do escrow store after deleting canceled escrow. Right? Curious. Escrows store. I'm not sure. I'm just trying to. Oh, man. But then look, I refreshed. I just saved. And I refreshed. And now it's gone. Now it's gone. What the heck happened? I refreshed. It refreshes. And we don't have anything. And why don't we have anything? Because our layout our layout when we refresh, I forgot that we're performing this. So maybe maybe what I consider doing is don't bother. This doesn't seem to be working. I'm not sure if it's my code. Like, of course it's my code, but like, I'm not sure if it's my delete escrow handler, like the little helper, or if it's something else. But I'm wondering, it may be best to note using confusing. Let's just do it. So instead of that, let's try to do instead of delete escrow, let's just do a fresh fetch. And we know the constants, and that's the non. This is our program. Yeah. What happened? Oh, program ID and the workspace connection in particular. Yeah. All right. So what that would do is it would navigate, and then it would just straight up refetch instead. Okay. So then down here, oops. Should I bother updating and all that stuff? It may, trying to update instead, it may just be better. I'm going to delete this stuff. I'm not going to do note after closing accounts no longer available. If we try to fetch the PDA, it will error. Also note if we escrow store reset here, then the reactives trigger and will reactives will trigger and set or find and match in escrow store array, which hasn't updated yet. So this is like important for now. I'm just trying to yes, for now seems to help prevent a reactive trigger. Update, going to do a fresh fetch. Not sure. So we're working on this, but instead this time I may just perform a fresh get escrow accounts, and this would be if they cancel. Could even consider doing it always. I'm not sure if that's the thing. Like, I don't know. I understand like pinging and trying to do getting all the using that get program accounts query is not encouraged from my understanding, and so like I guess that's the thing, is like I need state to be updated though. Like I need it to align with obviously what's on chain. So like if an escrow is still active, well then it needs to be active. But I'm just not sure. Like I don't want to trigger it too many times, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So let's give this a go. We've canceled already, so I still have my money again. And we have this and that, so same kind of scenario. I'm just nothing complicated. Let's do 1.1, and we'll do of this token we want 0.6. Sure. We initialize, goes through. Nice. Yeah. Escrow stores have been updated because we use the whole add escrow to our escrow store. So I feel like that is okay. I thought the helpers would be helpful on the store, you know, like, but yeah, I'm not sure. Some of them may just be, it may just be best to grab, like perform a refresh, like a fetch. So here we are. Just do a little marker there, like this is before, all these logs before. So now, a little strange again that like, if I click in here, and I'm gonna do another one. If I click on this, okay. I just want to make sure that it's not trying to do like a, I don't want it to do this no escrow store found from this scenario, because my code should be where when I click on this, I'm using that set store, like navigate and set store anyway. So I think it's working. Maybe it's just too many logs and hard to follow, which it is. But moment of truth, if we cancel, do this, sends me back to home, and encouragingly, I no longer have an escrow store. Like it's an empty array. And our escrow single store has been reset. Okay. That's encouraging. Because that's been a problem. Now, curious, do I still have money? Was it actually canceled and refunded back to the user? It looks to be the case. So, I'm hopeful, and I'm gonna take down some notes. Okay, that was big. So that's helpful. That's looking good. So what this tells me though is I obviously need to, but I've got to test this stuff out. But I need to really take a look at how I'm updating this as we go, as we perform certain actions like initializing or canceling and whatnot. So, yeah, let's do that. I'm happy that the after the cancel, after we perform the cancel, the this little escrows store get escrows accounts seems to be working. Seems to be correctly navigating and updating. Now, what I've discovered though was it updates, and I had just a second ago, I'd only initialized one and then I canceled it. So escrow store was an empty array. Then I made some sort of change, or I think I just did it. I think really what it is just to reload the page, just like a hard refresh on the page. All of my stores are wiped out. All of my stores are wiped out. And this is, it's reconnecting. And it will perform, it will do, because it's a hard refresh and we're on the escrow. It's going to hit my layout svelte component and do some stuff, such as like try to go fetch the escrows store. So go find some escrows accounts, but you'll notice that like a lot of other stuff is kind of messed up, like the setup store, which is granted it's just for the setup, so it's not like really an account, like a program account that's on chain. Same with my X Mint store or my Y Mint store. Now the wallet store, the tokens that are in the wallet, that still works, like, because that's part of, it's calling the get token accounts by owner, or parse token accounts by owner, and that is picking up my tokens. I haven't reset anything, but one of the issues is that I reset, a hard reload happens or whatever. I think the escrow accounts for escrows store, the array, is working as intended, because if I look at my layout, whenever the wallet is ready and the workspace program is ready, I will intentionally reset my stores on wallet. Like I'm doing that. The problem is that I'm really not I'm doing that. How to handle if a connection happens on, like, if they disconnect, need to get corresponding escrow. So like the reset makes sense. However, one of the issues is that I'm trying to set user store. What I know of the user store is not much. Anytime like a hard refresh happens or a fresh connection happens, I can really, the only thing I can do is just set the user store wallet address. That's it. We then use that, the wallet store, which is set to wallet, we only use that to get the token accounts and the SOL balance for the connected wallet. I do have this call right here to try to go out and fetch the program, like the escrow accounts, using the program and the connection. Okay, but what I'm missing, something like to do, is I really need to get program accounts and set or update my store's state as best as possible. So what the issue right now is that after I save some code or I refresh and whatnot, escrow's store is the only one, the escrow's array is the only one that I think is actually performing a fetch. It's coming back empty because I don't have anything initialized right now. But really what needs to happen is I need to perform a get programs account. So and this gets a little bit more involved. But like, for example, I can't I can't use the store helpers. For example, escrow store dot get escrow account, because get my mouse out of there, because I no longer have access to the PDA value. Same goes for the custom program store. I've lost, like if the store gets wiped or reset or lost, then I need to perform a fresh get program accounts. I can't think of any other way to address that, to be honest. Which inside of this call would do things like it's going to get all the escrow accounts, all the, this is a smaller program, but basically this is going to, that would go and get all of my escrow accounts, as well as the custom program account. Now, perhaps there's a way to hard code the custom program account, since it's since we're only creating one, So that's kind of what's coming to my mind. Like, this works because I don't need any PDAs. I need the program ID and the connection. And this works because I'm doing, technically inside, I am doing this get program accounts call. But I'm using the filter to only get those that have the exact same data size as my escrow accounts. And it works. We reset just in case there's anything there, and then we go through all the accounts that are returned and decode the account data to match our escrow account shape and such, and then we add them one by one. That works. However, escrow store, don't really need to worry about escrow store because this takes care of it, really. It's only, so I feel like escrow, but it's the custom program. It's the custom program store. That's, how the heck do I do that? Can I, and you know what? Update think I'm only missing custom program store. Since escrow's store is already so I don't think I've got a, what do I have here? Get program accounts. This is Copilot. I don't think I've got that. Yeah. So let me comment that out for a second. And let's see if I can, I mean, it's the highest level. It's my, oh, it's not from polls. Custom store, not from polls. Huh? What did I name it at? Let me see. PDA, custom program. Let's copy that. Try this. Now, if I go to settings, set, get, ooh, hang on, forget my helper. This is, if I happen to have the PDA, great, it's an optional argument. So what this, I want to go in here. So how do I use async fixed? Turns out find program accounts zeros causing issues. How to check whether the store already has a PDA. If get custom program store. Oh, So basically here it's like, all right, if a PDA is actually passed, then set it. We have this temporary deal, set the PDA to equal to it. Otherwise, set PDA to null. So if there is no PDA, if it is null, then we need to find it. And so what we can try to do is find program address buffer. Why can't it find workspace store? May have to get. So we're passing the C prefix, PDA temp error, and then say we can get a. This part is okay. Let's try to get it. Okay, and then say we have a. Hang on, let me do some formatting. So that didn't help. B. Let's go back. Yeah, okay, we are using the custom program fetch. Okay. 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 All right. So it's been a while since I looked at this. But yeah, basically, I am attempting one here to, if we happen to have the PDA, great, we can pass it. Now, one of the things to this, how to check whether the store already has a PDA. once deployed on mainnet, could consider kind of generating the public key and storing inside a const. So that way, like, I'm just thinking out, like, I don't know, but like if I were to deploy this custom program PD, like the custom program account, I just need, it's going to be the very first account that gets created, because I can't, how I've done it now, I can't actually begin to use the app until it is created. So what that means is that I could consider, you know, just generating a key pair or whatever it is and saving that the public key, you know, or not, just using that public key address for the custom program account. So then it's just, and I could save that to a constant. So then this optional argument, I don't have to worry about it being optional. I could always just, I could really just set it as a default. I don't know. It's something to consider. Right now, as I'm constantly like resetting my test validator, the Solana test validator, every time I do that, I mean, it's a whole new network. Shutting down, bring it. So now I've got to recreate this custom program account. But as I'm running it right here, like when I refresh, I've already created the custom program account. I should, it should be able to refetch and repopulate this store. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I'm envisioning. So let's go back to here. It may just work. Not sure. And look, I saved the changes. This is my layout. And sure enough, goes through and it has this. Nice. And I'm seeing words 3. This is type BN and stuff, like how it's saved total escrow count. But I see 5 here. I mean, I've created a few escrows and canceled and all that. So that may have done the trick. And again, like this is in essence really like, let me close this down. So like this is a really, really long stretch of code here. I need to see if I can format it. Can't seem to format it. But like, can I? Can I do something like that? I don't know if that works. Seems like it seems like that works. But what's happening here is this fetch. So this is Anchor specific. So Anchor has its workspace. This is thanks to the kind of replicating Anchor's workspace, but in the front end. And this is only available because of the Svelte on Solana wallet adapter package that I'm using. But let's move this to the top. This right here, again, get will it literally just grabs like the the latest of this store value at that point in time. So when we refresh or whatever, it's going to snag what workspace store is at that point in time, and that's it. It's just a single grab, and that's it. It's not always the most the best way to do it, but that's the only thing. It's the only way that I've been able to seem to get this to work is that I have to sometimes use this get on my workspace sometimes. But Anchor's program object has all of my accounts, which my account on my on-chain account is a custom program. And they call this, with the account, I have, it's kind of like the account client, I guess. Gets into the weeds, but this right here, this fetch, what's awesome about this is that it returns deserialized account data. So it returns the deserialized account, which is awesome. I don't have to manually decode the data like I did with the Escrow's store helper. Yeah. So, but this behind the scenes, this fetch is doing, I'm pretty darn sure it's doing some form of get program accounts call to grab the data. So if I show the Escrow's store and I bring that over here, let's move it over. My helper right here, the get escrow accounts. I'm sorry. This helper, I'm building it where it's like an async, and I got to pass in the program ID and the connection and all that, and I do my own custom filter, and then I'm actually using the workspace again, thanks to Anchor, but it does rather than the program, now it's got a coder that coder for serializing requests. Okay, great. And then I can get access to the accounts. I have an accounts coder, and it has a couple of methods. One is decode and one is encode. I'm using decode, and I'm basically saying the shape of the data needs to be decoded as it matches the escrow account data. So like this shape, like this is what my data is. We're going to take the value account data, which is a buffer, and how are we supposed to deserialize it into a workable JavaScript object? Well, we tell it which account are we looking for. Well, it's this escrow account, and this is all thanks to Anchor's IDL, basically behind the scenes. So super helpful. But the point is really both of these approaches are more or less doing the same thing, just kind of different ways of doing it. So yeah, maybe that hopefully that makes sense. I have to say, like the Discord, the Anchor Discord, super helpful. People on there, just reading that, following that, and asking, that's kind of what has introduced me to this stuff. I didn't even know how to do the decoding and such. And again, I mentioned Soul Andy. He also has a Discord server, super good, but a YouTube, he kind of goes through some stuff and really shows like some of the decoding and serializing and deserializing Solana account data. So there's more on that, but I think what's encouraging about this is that just by adding, a call inside my layout component, this layout, parse token accounts, I don't have to I've added these helpers directly on the stores, which kind of comes in handy right in this case, and seems to works. So could consider hard coding the custom program PDA once deployed on mainnet. Like, I don't even know if anyone would use this thing. I'm still just, it's a fun experiment. It's fun for me to kind of work through and learn all this stuff. Anchor, Solana, Svelte, front end stuff. Like, I'm not clearly like I wouldn't follow my code as like a prime example, but of what to do. Totally hacking my way through it, but this is kind of fun. So my thing is, though, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same because we're passing the same PDA is what I mean. So we're passing the same prefix and the same program ID, and I have not shut down my validator. So like we're still on technically like the same block, the same network. So if I go through this one more time, I don't have this token. I have this token. All right, so I have the BW, and I print it out up here. I want this A and Z. Let's pass that, and let's just, I've got a full 3, so let's do 1.4, and we're in exchange for 0.5, something like that. I'm gonna just adding some visuals on my log. So if I initialize, should work if this custom program store is the same store that I've been working with so far. Yeah, okay, cool. And yeah, check this out. So escrow number 6. So it has been able to refetch the correct custom program account on chain. Nice. Obviously this UI needs to get updated and stuff, but when I click over here, escrow store is updated, or the array, which I have 1. I click into it. Yeah, looking good. Looking good. So I think, well, let me see. I'm just curious. I haven't done this in a while. Maybe I've broken something in the process, but now that kind of making some progress, let's go over here. I'm going to reconnect. I'm actually going to, right now, this is the seller is kind of the connected user or connected wallet. I'm going to go over here and do connect a different wallet, and we're going to do the soul flare. Yeah, disconnect error and all that stuff. But we'll do the extension, pass that in, and now, okay, come through, it connects, gets the token accounts by the wallet that's been invoked. Escrow store has been updated because that's part of what we've been doing. That was working last time. False. It's not the correct. It's not the initializer. It's not the seller. This wallet is the buyer. Escrow. Let's see if I can accept. Maybe it doesn't blow up on me. Hey, looking good. Thanks to Soulflare, we get to see the whole transaction. Yeah, the seller was going to pay 1.4 of this token in exchange for 0.5 of that token, and now that we're the buyer, we're paying out the 0.5 and we're going to receive. And I approve. Boom. Boom. Looking good. Getting there. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. But definitely think that making these calls, getting these fresh fetches on like a page reload, or after some of these once these instructions are called, like accept or cancel and stuff, I think it's much better to just to go ahead and fetch them and reset my store's state that way. Seems to, it's the point of truth in my application, I guess, because we're fetching from on-chain data. So, yeah. All right. Looking good.